I'm in my high school bedroom in Pennsylvania, and I was here in June for a week, and I downsized my book collection here by about 40%. I've got to do that again. So I've got 2 U-Haul boxes. One's going to be to keep, one's going to be to give away, and we're just going to fill them. Okay? So the thing about my high school bedroom is that it's a mess. There's bookcases, but there's also boxes. There's my old bed, but there's also 2 more twin mattresses on the floor. I've already done a little tiny bit of work, you can't tell, but these 2 bags are full of clothes to get donated. I've got a box full of recycling that I learned today can't be recycled here because the recycling system is so bad. And yeah, I honestly don't know where to start with a lot of this stuff because I've only been up here a couple of times in the past 5 years, and every time I've been up here, there's been more stuff added to it. Yeah, so... Oh, there are U-Haul boxes up here already. Didn't know that. I brought 2 new ones up from the downstairs. That's a cat. That's a different cat. Alright, let's start on this bookcase right here, just because it has easy access, despite all the stuff in front of it, including more books. So this bookcase has all the tall books on it. Because it's got an open top. And let's see if we can get a closer look at what they are. Hat full of Seuss, Dali, some Portugal books, a Mafalda book, Histórias para Crianças, some Saramago, some more Saramago, Don Quixote. Ooh! This book right here. This book is awesome. O Caso do Cadáver Esquecido. It's every chapter is written by a different author, but it's one continuous story. So it's an exquisite corpse, quite literally. Let's put that in there. This shelf is the shelf that got hit the hardest in the summer. Everything that's left here is pretty much a school book related to my undergrad. And I'm talking like a long time ago. But let's see. I think that this is Shelf Discovery. Yeah. So this is Shelf Discovery by Lizzie Skernick. She was my teacher. And she was phenomenal. And I'm still Facebook friends with her. And I follow her. But we haven't talked in over a decade. And then let's go down to this bottom shelf. If I can get down here. Yeah, so it looks like all this stuff is medieval and related. So I see the medieval period, the Renaissance and early 17th century. Those are textbooks. But I also see such joys as The Knight of the Burning Pestle. There's Tolkien's Gawain and the Green Knight. Yeah. That's what's going on in this shelf. Some of it's gonna go. Well, I sat down in front of this case, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get up again because I may only be 34, but I definitely am old. So nothing seems to be exciting up here, except for, ooh, look at this. This is The Girl Who Owned a City. I read this in middle school or high school. And it's a dystopian where all of the adults have died. But it's like... I still remember this book. This is a good book. It's by... Who's it by? O.T. Nelson. So, yeah, as I recall, a bunch of kids get together to form a little commune inside the school building because it has the best fortifications, because there's like fights breaking out and stuff. Yeah, this is a good one. I might hang on to it. All right. This shelf, there's definitely a reason this shelf is still full. And that's because I'm very excited by some of the stuff on this shelf. All these books are from my last 2 years of undergrad, when I was starting to develop a feminist consciousness. And a lot of them I acquired for a specific women in American history class that I took my senior year of college, of undergrad. And I do believe I used to have 2 copies of this Outrageous Acts and Everyday Rebellion. These books are a little stuck on the shelf, so I'm not going to pull any of them out. But I did give one of them away, or in the to give away pile, over the summer. Yeah, let's see. Down here is a smorgasbord. I see Best American Essays, edited by Joyce Carol Oates. An African American literature textbook. What's this right here? Is it a Norton anthology of short fiction? It's a something. I can't tell clearly. And then fun things like the Merriam-Webster Garfield Dictionary. And I guess sliding right along, this next case, the middle shelf is completely empty, and the top shelf has Hemingway and T.S. Eliot and the evergreen Lies My Teacher Told Me, which I read in 9th grade, and completely shaped the way that I approach education. Because, when you're 15 years old and you are reading about the atrocities of history that have been systemically covered up in history classes, it's impactful. Again, nothing on the middle shelf except some dust. Then here on the bottom, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And that looks like the undergraduate bulletin from Adelphi University, which is where I went for my freshman year of college. It's not where I stayed, but it is where I went, and I do still have a couple of friends from that year, so shout out to them. Yeah. This next case over here I'm not going to sit down in front of, because immediately behind me there is a laundry basket full of notebooks, and whatever this is, looks like a laundry basket inside of a box full of a pillow and a sweater. Again, I don't know where any of this stuff comes from. I haven't lived here in a long time, but I'm sure some of it is mine and it's all my fault, but you never know. But let's get a closer look. We've got, this shelf is kind of a mix. It mostly looks like undergrad stuff, but I do see this is from my MFA, but this Beth Ann Fennelly book. She was one of our guest lecturers in my MFA program. So we've got, with Robert Lowell and His Circle, that's 100% a McDuffie book. McDuffie was one of my professors in college. The Roundhouse, Rebecca. Fun story about The Female Man. We read this in 2 different classes in the same semester, and it was entirely my fault because I put the earworm in both professors' ears that we should read it. And everyone hated it in both classes except for me. Dawn, Sunshine, Cry the Owl. Some more medieval stuff with the Book of Marjorie Kemp. Place of the Lion, some C.S. Lewis, The Man Who Was Thursday. All that stuff is from my Oxford Christian Writers course. on Tolkien, Lewis, and their friends. And some random stuff. Winnie the Pooh, The House at Pooh Corner. I think I got those for free from a dumpster. And second shelf on this case is mostly... I've got several issues of the Fine Print, which was my undergrad's literary journal. The Carolina Quarterly. Interesting. Some stuff that I don't recognize. And then the bottom shelf is empty. So that's this case. Over here, this bookcase is different from the last 3 bookcases, and that's because this was the first bookcase I had up here. Along this top knot shelf, this is a collection of classics that I inherited from my grandfather. And even though I've never read them, I'm going to keep them because they were my grandfather's. Also, tchotchkes. I've always been a big fan of tchotchkes. So there's all the tchotchkes that I have. Alright, let's go down a level. You got some Tolkien, some Salinger. We've got Terry Pratchett's Going Postal. And here they are. We've got my Tamara Pierce collection, which there are some more down here on the next shelf. I've never met Tamara Pierce, but I've interacted with her online once or twice. She was my favorite author of all time in middle school and high school. And I'd say she's still up there in like the top 10. And then what's at the bottom? Inkheart, Abarat. What's this book over here? Sword and Sorcery. That's an anthology from college. The Road to Science Fiction, also from college. And Shel Silverstein. This is kind of the last bookcase in the room. It's more of a media tower that I used as a bookcase. But as you can see, I got rid of pretty much everything from this case. So there's not really much left to comment on. But I still wanted to show you guys. And then in this corner over here, these are all of the binders from my MFA program. So all of the coursework from those 2 years in that program is right there. And I probably don't need these, but I'm probably going to keep them because I'm sentimental. And I have binders like this from my PhD as well. So I'll just add them to the stack of binders back in Massachusetts. Something I want to show off real quick that I found while I was doing this project is my mosaic Starry Night. I made this in 7th grade, and I remember I couldn't decide what I wanted to do my mosaic on. Everyone had to make a mosaic in art class. And I literally just looked around the room looking for inspiration and saw a Starry Night poster, and I was like, that's cool, I'm gonna make that. And I still have it, and I'm still proud of it. It still looks like Starry Night. I think the things about it that bothered me then still bother me now. Like, you can tell where I used 2 different types of glue in the center swirl. Yeah, you see it's clear on the one end and kind of foggy on the other, but those are all pieces of glass from the same piece of glass. Yeah, so that's my Starry Night. Something else cool I found. Ow. Something else cool I found while I was doing this is this promotion from 1st to 2nd grade. I love stuff like this. I'm gonna give this to my mom. Alright, so that's one shelf emptied. You can see all the dust. That's years and years and years of dust because nobody comes up here except to Dump mattresses. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. You can tell these books haven't been touched in a long time. Any librarian will tell you that is some book mold. There's also dust there that is like physical granules, but all those yellow specks are book mold. I'm sorry, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I'm sorry this happened to you. Let's add them to the box, though, because, I don't know. I like Tolkien, and I like medieval stuff, so I'm keeping it. Alright, this is where we're at now. I've gotten through 2.5 shelves, and I've only gotten rid of 2 books. I did a very thorough de-stash over the summer, though, so I'm not surprised. Let's look at this guy. Look at that. That's so cute. Nancy Drew's Guide to Life. It is dirty. It needs a bath. I love this. Forget Joan of Arc and Britney Spears. It continues to be Nancy Drew who delights and inspires young girls everywhere. Let's keep this. I'm going to put it right here because I don't think it belongs in this box with full-size books, but we'll keep that. But it's incredible. You can see where the book spines end, and you see where that one was clearly larger than the books around it. Yeah, this is so dirty, and I'm so glad I took an allergy pill today. Alright, here's where I come into my book hoarder tendencies, not knowing what to do with myself. This is Antony and Cleopatra. Shakespeare. Important to have. It's edited by David Bevington. Also important to have. Very good editions by David Bevington. I own the complete works of Shakespeare edited by David Bevington. Do I need to keep this? No. I know that I don't. But I want to. I'm going to add it to my pile. The pile has expanded by several critical anthologies of time period based textbooks. They're textbooks. There's no other way to put it. They're textbooks. I don't need textbooks. I already have all the textbooks that I need, which is none. I have more than none textbooks, but you know what I mean. I don't need more. Alright, let's move on to the next book chase. Alright, we've got one box packed up. This box I decided to use for these books that I want to give away because I clearly can't give away books. And next box is set up. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, box number 2 is done. Also, that's my friend's Attack on Titan jacket that I made for her and never finished. Do you think it would be bad if I finished it now and gave it to her? I don't know. I'm going to take a break for today. Filling 2 boxes is not like a lot of work, but I got through a few shelves. I still have this bottom shelf to go through. Again, there's not really anything on that one, but most of these 3 bookcases are done. This bookcase over here is done. There's nothing in the bookcase headboard. Except for that vitamin water. I don't know where that came from. I don't drink that stuff. Yep.